Hey guys, David Franklin, Cartersville UNCUT, sitting in courtroom A in the jury box with our district attorney, Samir Patel. Listen, Samir.
Good seeing you.
Good to see you, man. Listen, we have so many questions about, you're the district attorney. What in the world is a district attorney?
I guess it kind of depends on which county you're serving in. If you go to Fulton County, some of the larger counties, the DA over there is more of an administrative position. Over here, we're blessed enough to have a smaller enough county where I can also be the administrator as well as try cases if I want. But technically, we are considered, this office is considered the top law enforcement personnel of the county. So we work and collaborate with the sheriff's office, the local police departments, both here, and this is a two-county circuit.
Okay.
So both here in Bartow and Gordon County.
So this is Bartow and Gordon. So if you're a criminal that's going to be tried, you're coming here, right?
We're coming here.
And you're the guy that gets to lay it out, right?
I do. I've been blessed with having a great staff. Came in, Judge Green, previous DA Green, had hired a lot of these employees that are here right now. The way that our office is set up is we have 11 prosecutors. We have 2 in each courtroom, 4 courtrooms, that's 8. And they're considered what's called line ADAs. So a certain segment of the alphabet would get assigned to certain courtrooms. Outside of that, we have a domestic violence prosecutor and we have a specialized drug prosecutor. And then our 11th prosecutor does drug forfeitures and preliminary hearings. So that everyone's kind of assigned based on the letter that they have. If there's a murder case, that case gets assigned to me from the jump, and then I work it out through the system. I'll get another prosecutor to help assist me on it. But unfortunately, we have a lot of pending murder cases.
Really?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Is that something you've seen go up in Bartow County?
So typically in Bartow, so I'll admit to you, I used to be a defense attorney. So I was aware that...
So you've been on both sides?
Both sides, yeah, both sides. Typically there are 3 to 4 pending murder cases that would go on because of COVID, because of the lag or the stoppage in jury trials. That number went from 4 to, I think when I got into office, we had about 16 pending murder cases.
Wow.
And unfortunately, a lot of that had to do with COVID when we were at home. Unfortunately, drug use increased, domestic violence increased, and with domestic violence escalation, we had, unfortunately, a lot of domestic violence murders.
Boy, that's sad, and I've heard about this across the nation. I didn't realize we had that here in Bartow County. So COVID has impacted y'all. It's impacted us way more than I realized. I knew that you couldn't do courtroom stuff quite like you were. So how did y'all keep going?
So we were, and I would say very fortunate to have Judge Scott Smith here, whereas a lot of, and it depends on what your take on COVID is, right? Like Judge Scott Smith felt like there was a pandemic. We did need to protect both the litigants as well as our jurors. But we muscled through. The Supreme Court prohibited us from having jury trials. So what Judge Scott Smith did was we had our non-jury hearings. So we continued doing that. We kept on processing criminal cases, civil domestic cases, civil cases in general, but just not jury trials. And then as soon as we were able to start doing jury trials again, we started right back up. I do not think that we're anywhere in as bad a shape as some of the other counties that just shut it down. But that your take on COVID. Some people say that we went too fast. Some people say we went too slow. It depends on who you are.
So you can't win on that one.
Yeah,
I mean,
never.
you can't win. You know, I deal with the churches, and some of them were like, "We started back too soon." You just kept it. You can't win.
Yeah, and I think personally, I think you have to go on with life. Hopefully, knock on wood, we've gotten past the worst of it. We do have a backlog. We have a significant backlog.
How long do you think that'd take before it kind of levels out?
It depends. So the federal grants have come in allowing us to hire more employees to try to get past this backlog. Governor Kemp, I think, has done a great job in trying to address the serious violent felonies. But getting good workers coming, it's an issue. And so we're also limited as amount of court space we have. I mean, we have certain trial weeks, and if we have a backlog of cases, you can only process so many cases at a time. So we're trying to find a good balance. We're not going to sell cases out just because we want to move them. But we may start trying to find creative ways to work out a sentence agreement so that we don't have to try every case. Because if you try a case, that's going to take up your entire trial week.
Takes up everything, doesn't it? Well, I didn't realize, I knew COVID had impacted, but I'm going to tell you, that grieves me to hear that domestic violence and all that kind of stuff, I knew that was happening nationally, but it's, man, when it happens in your backyard, that's a tougher thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and a heartbreaking thing that's come out from COVID as well, too, is a lot of our teachers, our doctors, they're the folks that lay eyes on children. When we had the COVID shutdown and teachers weren't laying eyes on kids, counselors weren't laying eyes on kids, the abuse of children that went unreported was fairly dramatic. I've been fortunate enough to be on the Board of Advocates for Children, and one of our organizations is individuals that do forensic interviews of children. And I speak to the director quite often, and she was telling me that when COVID restrictions lifted, kids are back in school, the amount of interviews they were doing of suspected abuse, physical and sexual, it's skyrocketed.
Skyrocketed. Wow. That's
one of those collateral things you just don't think about.
Yeah.
So,
that's a sobering thing.
it is. It's scary.
Scary.
And then as far as the overall numbers, I'd say we probably went up about 70-80% as far as our backlog goes.
Wow.
So it's something we're processing through, something we're working on, we'll continue to work on, and luckily we've been fortunate to have a great staff here that we're just trying to pressure. And we have a great relationship with the defense bar, the public defenders, and the judges, and they're dynamic in the sense where if we try to do something creative to move cases, they're on board.
They're on board.
They're on board.
That's good to know that we got people working together.
Yeah. And I think we're incredibly fortunate with our county in that everyone does get along.
Yeah.
And we work together as a cohesive unit as opposed to some of the other counties who,
Yeah. Well, that's important. And in our community, us working together is absolutely huge.
If you've been injured in an accident, call the Glenda Mitchell Law Firm.
Give us a call anytime. You'll talk directly to me.
Let this specialist in auto accidents fight for you. Call 770-694-1883 today.
Hey, it's Kelly Jones at Kennesaw Transportation. I have exciting news. We have rolled out a new pay structure program that did a big increase for our drivers. We have teams, solos, and then we also have a training program. So if you're a new CDL holder, we would love to have you join us, or if you're a established or seasoned driver, we'd love to have you. My phone number and the website is listed below. Call me and I can go over all the details with you. Thanks.
So now we're in our Napa Auto Care Center with Chris Hughes, our shop foreman over here. Chris, it looks like we're pretty busy over here. So for our public that don't realize that we've gone mechanical, what all do we do over here?
You name it, we do it.
Oil changes?
Oil changes, alignments, rotates, brakes, suspension. We can put your new transmission in for you. We can do your engine, whatever you want us to do.
Tune-ups, check engine lights?
Absolutely.
So Chris is our shop foreman over here. This is our Napa Auto Care Center. This is the mechanical side of the business. Chris is doing a fabulous job. Y'all, if you need anything mechanical, oil change, whatever, give us a call.
Hi, I'm Joshua Goodman with Elite Stone Supply. We sell everything from hardscaping, landscaping, stone, Husqvarna equipment, and premier portable buildings. We can make them from 6x10 all the way up to 16x40. We make garden sheds, garages, cabins, barns, anything you can think of, we can make it happen. Do you need to store Christmas stuff? Do you need to store a lawnmower? We can take care of that. Do you need to get away? Do you need a pool house by your pool? We can make it happen. Come check us out at Elite Stone Supply.
Hey guys, David Franklin here with Cartersville UNCUT with Samir Patel, the District Attorney for Bartow and Gordon counties. He's the top guy, and man, you're the one that has helped keep a law and order in our area. So we want to say thank you, man.
I want to say thank you to you and the folk and the service you provide, as well as our sheriff's office, the police departments. They're great around here. And as I said before, we have an incredible relationship. We work together, and it's great that we can work together.
You know, that's one of the great things about Bartow is people working together. But Samir, I want to ask you, you talked about COVID and the impact, and what else crime-wise is going on in Bartow County? Because man, we see so much national news about increase in murder and all that kind of stuff. What's going on here?
Well, with the expansion of our county, also comes the expansion of folks coming up from Atlanta. As many people may know, Atlanta is a corridor and hub for drug distribution, drug trafficking. Bartow and Gordon County have an incredible resource. So we have I-75 that cuts through here. We get a lot of jobs that way, but with the good comes the bad.
It's blessing and curses in this.
Yep. And so we have quite a few unfortunate drug traffickers that come through I-75. And that's been a big problem. It'll continue to be a big problem because that's unfortunately looks like it's never going to end.
No, we expect 75 to get more busy, don't we?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And with that would be increased drug distribution. But we have great law enforcement folks here that are trying to fight it and tackle it head on and doing their best to stop it.
What about sex trafficking? I keep hearing a bunch of stuff like that, and saw some national stuff that says, hey, these stores right here, people are targeting. Do we see that kind of stuff around here?
We do, and I know Governor Kemp and his wife Marty have made it a big deal as far as prosecuting those cases, providing resources for local district attorney's office that are trying to prosecute those cases. I think it's always been there. Fortunately, we're shining a light on it now and trying to stop it. I know there have been allegations and I believe some convictions here regarding issues related to sex trafficking. And I think it's the same with drug distribution. Right. When you have I-75, you have that corridor. With the bad is going to come. And I think there is sex trafficking going on. There is gangs that are going on, drug distribution. And I think with that...
Do we have a lot of gangs here? Are they coming?
They are coming.
They're coming, yeah.
I think that there's an expansion going on. And it's a lot easier for them to come up and get an interstate. But I don't think it's as bad, obviously, as down south of us. But we're not immune from it.
No, we aren't, are we?
And it's certainly, the more we pay attention to it, the more we'll find out about it. I will say, I think as far as this, sex trafficking and the gangs, it's in infancy as far as shining a light on it in our county. But hopefully we don't see it, but I think we're going to find something we don't like to see.
As long as you got that corridor.
Yeah.
And, that thing goes from Miami all the way up to, and it's so busy, you just know a lot of stuff is traveling up and down that thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What else do we see? What else is your office dealing with? Talked about domestic violence, talked about drugs, sex trafficking, other things. What else do we see here?
So we see, especially when we talked about this before, we see the abuse going on of children. I know that there are cases that will always be there and have never gone away. And right now the big deal is just a backlog of cases. Wow. The ones that make the news, the ones that we talk about most are the crimes against children, the elderly, and the murders. And those are the ones that we're trying to tackle. And I know a lot of them have delays going on because of the fact that we have limited court. And there is a concern that between the time that someone gets arrested and bonds out and the time they go to court, something else may happen. So we are doing our best to try to move those cases and bring them up. But unfortunately, we just have such a huge backlog.
And that's an interesting thing. Across the nation, district attorneys, we used to not pay attention to them, but all of a sudden they're in the news. It's kind of like school boards and Secretary of States with elections. Just, here these major cities of district attorneys, at least from my perspective, are trying to go soft on crime and lessen punishment and all that kind of stuff. Am I wrong in picking that up?
I think there definitely is a difference of opinion as it relates to how certain cases should be handled. I think with the election that came, there was a lot of new faces that came in, and a lot of them were defense attorneys that came over to the prosecution side. I think you're right. I think there's what they may have as alternative ways of prosecution. I don't see it that way. I think our previous DA, Joe Campbell, has done a fantastic job. I think Rosemary Green has done a fantastic job. Now she's judge. And I carry their same set of beliefs that you prosecute cases. And if there's someone that can't be rehabilitated, let's rehabilitate them. And I think Judge Scott Smith, and he runs the accountability courts as far as drug courts go. If they can be rehabilitated, let's send them there. But at some point, we have to protect society. And if you can't behave yourself in a law-abiding way out in society, then we're going to take steps to make sure we protect society at some point.
And listen, I know all of y'all are sitting there going, thank you. Because what you just said is, you're not going to go soft on us.
No, and certainly we want to find ways, creative ways to try, not creative as in like alternative prosecution, to move some cases, but we're not going to go soft on crime because at some point we have, as I said, protect society, protect our community, and we just need to move these cases.
Yeah. You know, I work with the faith community, and we're always trying to talk about ways that we can play a key role in rehabilitation and helping people even not get into crime. You know, we started a thing in the school system called Read to Grow because we found out that people could read by third grade were less likely to end up in crime. And so that's one of the things, Samir, you and I have talked a lot about how this community works together. And I think that's one of those things that's a real plus about Bartow County.
It's amazing. Any fundraiser I've been to in this community, any organization I've been involved in, it doesn't matter if it's COVID, post-COVID, people are struggling. You try to raise money for a good cause here in Bartow County, and this is what makes me love this community so much. You'll find people to help, whether it's physical help, whether it's financial help, moral help. I think we have a strong community that if a person is in need or organization is in need, our county or our community will step up to the plate.
Yeah. Listen, here's a strange question for you. As the district attorney, looking at the big 35,000-foot view, what keeps you awake at night when you think about Bartow County?
I think it's just the expansion of drugs and domestic violence and crime as far as murder goes. Unfortunately, and I'll harp back on domestic violence. Domestic violence is a situation that typically escalates. A lot of times you'll have a partnership or a husband and wife that relationship may rely on one individual to be the financial breadwinner, and in cases in which that person gets arrested, there's an incentive to bring that person back. And unfortunately, with domestic violence, things just escalate. Things like that do concern me, especially with our increase in murder rates based on domestic violence. That's definitely concerning to me.
Yeah.
And mental health issues as well too.
Yeah, those are major things, and only a community can tackle all of that.
Absolutely.
So, listen now. I got a speeding ticket. Are you the right guy? No, I'm just teasing, man. I'm just teasing.
Well, it's funny. My wife got two, so I didn't help her out much either.
No, listen, seriously, guys. I didn't get a speeding ticket, but somebody put me up to that. And just because one of the things that's great about Samir is you like to laugh.
Yeah.
You and I've been in a lot of places, and you know we can work on hard things, and we can work hard on hard things and still enjoy the journey.
Absolutely. I mean, the job that a lot of us have is incredibly difficult mentally, and you have to do it with a smile sometimes, because otherwise you'll just get burnt out in any profession, especially with the gravity of what we're handling here in these courtrooms. You have to do it with a smile sometimes.
Guys, one of the things I would encourage you to do, some of you folks know that I really promote prayer. This is a group of people that you need to be praying for, because when you have to deal with, and I've seen this when I was a pastor, when you deal with those abuse situations, man, it just is tough. And you got to make sure you don't ever get callous to it.
Yeah.
I mean, but you got to be faithful. And so, listen, man, I really appreciate your heart. Samir, it's been great talking with you. And we'll come back because you got a lot of interesting stuff, man.
I appreciate that.
So thank you very much.
Thank you for the time. I really appreciate it.
Hey, this is Senator Bruce Thompson. Listen, I'm running to become the next labor commissioner. It's been pretty clear during this COVID situation that we have challenges out there for people that needed to get their claims. And then frankly, as taxpayers, we had 38% of the claims that were paid were fraud. And we should do better than that. We expect better, and I'm willing to do better. This agency is broken. I'm the guy to fix it. And I want to bring the integrity and the trust back to the government. And we'll start with this agency. Bruce Thompson for Georgians. Hey, I appreciate you voting for me.
SOS Mattress, best quality, best price, guaranteed. Where can you find a huge selection of high-end mattresses without paying high-end prices? SOS Mattress, best quality, best price, guaranteed. Where can you save 50 to 80% off retail every day? SOS Mattress, best quality, best price, guaranteed. We offer the lowest prices on the best name brand mattresses. SOS Mattress and Clearance Center on Highway 41 in Cartersville, 1 block south of Home Depot.
Hey, this is Joe Wilson, co-owner of Parnick Jennings Funeral Home, Cartersville's locally owned funeral home, serving all of Bartow County since 1977. The biggest difference of our funeral home here in Bartow County, Cartersville, is that we are a locally owned funeral home. We make all our decisions right here in the funeral home. When people walk in the door, they're going to meet the owner and know that we're making decisions on what's best for the families that have placed their trust and confidence in us and the needs of our community. One thing we always say to families that place their trust in us is ask a family we have served. We want people to know that when they come here for probably one of the most difficult experiences in their life, that they can feel comfortable with us. On behalf of myself and all the staff here at Parnick Jennings Funeral Home, we want you to know it would be our honor to serve your family during your time of need. Please call us at 770-382-0034.
Hi, welcome to Spencer Family Medicine. We're located on Henderson Drive in Weston Commons Shopping Center.
Unlike most medical clinics, we do labs right here in the office, including x-rays, saving you the hassle of scheduling yet another appointment across town.
Here at Spencer Family Medicine, we accept almost all insurance plans.
And we can almost always fit you in for same-day appointments.
We serve patients young to old.
From urgent care issues like broken bones to long-term issues like weight management and hormone therapy.
Not only that, but Dr. Spencer and staff are trained in aesthetic work.
So come to see us at Spencer Family Medicine. We would love for you to be a part of our family.
I'm Dr. Spencer, and I approve this message.
Okay, guys. Ready?
Okay, ready, go.
Hey guys, Tim here at Treasure Chest Outlet. Hey, why don't you come on in? Let me show you around at some things we've got here that you might need. Take a look at our sofas. We have reclining sofas, we have stationary sofas, we have a selection of sofas on the floor. We have more coming. Come on in and check them out. Hey, we have a large selection of rugs. Kind of take a look at what we have here. Pick out your favorite color. We have them in 5x8s, 8x10s. We also have 4x6s. 4x6s start at $29. 5x8s start at $79. And 8x10s start at $129. You just never know what you're going to find here at Treasure Chest Outlet.
Hey guys, David Franklin here once again with Cartersville UNCUT with Samir Patel, our district attorney. And Samir, you have one of the most fascinating jobs, but I got to ask you some personal stuff like the name Samir Patel. Me having grown up in Alabama, that's not a normal Southern name. So tell me, how did you end up in Bartow County? Because I mean, that's an interesting story.
Well, it's funny, I oftentimes get asked the question, where are you from? And I'll say Texas, and they'll even look even more perplexed than ever before. My dad and my mom were born and raised in India. My dad sought the value of education. His father was a poor farmer, and my grandfather did not believe in education, whereas my dad did, and so he put himself through school. They didn't have a school in his village, and then my aunt saved up enough money to fly him here to America. He came here in '72, washed dishes for 2-3 years out in California, and then got a master's at the Detroit Institute of Technology. It's a diploma I keep in my office to remind me every day about the sacrifices he made so that we can have a better life here in America. I say that because he brought the rest of my family over and brought them gave them a place to live until they can get under their 2 feet. Education is so incredibly important to me. So when we moved, when I was born in Houston, Texas, my dad got a job with Tennessee Valley Authority in Alabama, so I became an Auburn fan.
Listen, the Georgia people will not hold that against you.
Hopefully.
Because Georgia's been beating Alabama every year, so it's beating Auburn.
So eventually went to Tennessee and went to college in Tennessee and went to law school at Georgia State. And when I graduated Georgia State, my plan was to get some real trial experience, and I knew I could do that here in Bartow. And I was going to stay here for a year or two and leave. And I came here in '05, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life here. This community, as I said before, has meant so much to me, and I could not imagine living anywhere else other than Bartow, Gordon County.
You know, Samir, I'm like you. I've lived in multiple states, multiple towns. There's something special about Cartersville, about Bartow County. When I live out in Taylorsville, there's still a community feel here, which is really, really fun. So listen, married?
I am married. I've been married for about 10 years now, well, 9 years next week, and I have a 6-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter.
Hey, they're a lot of fun, aren't they?
They're getting me bald.
But listen, how does that impact you as a district attorney? Because you got kids, you got your own children that you want to make sure that are impacted. That's got to have an impact on you.
It does. I know when I was a defense attorney before, your mindset changed when you're a prosecutor, and I tried to be fair in all my cases that I oversee, but it's hard. Whenever you see a child in the community being abused, either physically or sexually, you see your child in them. And it brings a whole new perspective as to what's going on. And it breaks your heart, some of the things that you see. But in that sense, I just hug and kiss my kids every day and hope that they don't go through some of the things that unfortunately people go through.
So, hobbies, have you got any hobbies?
I watch a lot of Auburn football. And I watch them lose a lot. I used to golf quite a bit, but that's all gone by the wayside because, as many people know with kids, the entire weekends you're spent trying to keep your kids happy and entertained. So my weekends are filled with running behind them. We go to Tellus all the time. We go to local places all the time, Crayon Panda, just stuff like that.
Yeah. So you are a guy, I mean, shout out to your dad who put a value in education and came here. Man, it takes a lot to leave a country for a better future, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I'm one of those people that believe that you don't get anywhere in life without other people helping you. He was the first person that helped me, and folks like you, folks I've gotten to know, have been so incredibly supportive of me. I appreciate all he's done. I appreciate all the things you've done for me. I can't even begin to say how incredibly blessed I've been with the folks that have been in my circle.
But you know, Samir, that's the way we ought to build each other up.
Absolutely.
I mean, anytime we can help somebody. So guys, that's a great word. You know, just appreciate you taking this time and appreciate your dad, and what a great story. But guys, go find somebody to be nice to. Go help your neighbor out. Go find somebody down the street, because everybody, I don't care who you are, especially with this pandemic, loneliness, isolation, we all need somebody to encourage us every now and then.
Absolutely. Anyone and everyone can use the help.
Listen, man, I appreciate the fact that you're in Bartow County, and good to be working together, man.
Absolutely.
So listen, thank you guys. Y'all have a great weekend. Oh, go help somebody else out.
Absolutely.
This is Cartersville Cell Phone Repair. We appreciate the community and enjoy serving you. Stop in for great deals for cases for all model phones. We have gently used tablets, phones, computers, car mounts, pop sockets, and Bluetooths. Not only are we the most committed phone shop in Cartersville, but we pride ourselves on quality repairs and sales. Stop in today. Come meet our team. Thanks, Cartersville.
Hello, Cartersville. If you haven't been by lately, come on by and check us out. We've totally revamped the store. We've added a lot more large capacity washers for your big loads. We have 40 pounders, 60 pounders, and 80 pounders for those huge loads. If you've got large bedding, come on by and see us. We've got the machine you need from a single person all the way up to a multi-family. If you're tired of doing laundry yourself, we offer a wash, dry, and fold service where you can drop it off. A few hours later, come back, it's ready to wear. We're located at 406 North Tennessee Street. It's All American Coin Laundry. Come by and see us for all your laundry needs.